Hello, you've made it to Art Dust, and I'm Glenda Gibson, the host, and my co-host is.
Me, Donna Drin. Hello, you glorious people out there.
Uh, so Donna, what are we talking about today? Come on.
Well, we have done a lot of little courses over the years, and we thought it might be useful for other people to find them or know about them or what they mean and why we've done them.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
why have you done all these courses over the years? Yes. But I've done some. I would like to talk about why I've done some in particular this year. And, I will mention other ones I've done in the past because, they have helped me to shape myself. But yeah.
yeah. So in the past, I've done lots of fun little free courses. I've done, as probably a lot of people have done, the Louise Fletcher one. There's
Mhm.
another lady in Australia, Tracy Vidergo. I've done hers. I've done, yeah, lots of little get started and have fun with art and splash paint around and awaken your inner artist.
Yeah.
And they've been good, and I've definitely learned something. And I would recommend that you do, Louise Fletcher in particular, if you just get started with her, it's all about finding your joy and working out what you like and what you don't like. So it's a really good start. But a couple of years ago, I just felt like they always seem to be at the beginning of the year, don't they?
Oh yeah, they do.
Yeah,
There's ones that do like draw every day or what's the other one? There's one on Substack, which is actually quite good because you share your work via. So like there's lots of them do it via Facebook or they do it via
yeah, yeah.
Instagram. But the Substack one's a little bit different because the tasks you can go back. That's what I like about the Substack. You can go see all the tasks and you can see the writing and why she's picked the task and the artists. Drawing with Auntie Kathleen, that's what it's called. And it's like, and there's the drawing at the grown-ups table is the section that you subscribe to and you do it. And I actually did it last January. It was quite nice. It's very pleasant. And it was like, we're going to draw because we're looking at this artist's work today and they're inspired by, can you,
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
it's
that's
nice.
another one we did. We did the journaling one, didn't we?
Yeah.
Mm,
Um,
can't remember what that was called. But
no.
there's loads of them there at the beginning of the year. You do get something out of them. I've done a couple of 100-day things as well, which is an Instagram kind of focus thing. And but a couple of years ago, I felt a bit overwhelmed. And by the time I did a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and it was all nice and lovely, I lost myself in my own art. And
Yeah.
I felt I would just, it was actually 3 years ago. I felt, no, I'm not going to do that. Next year, I'm not going to do any courses. And
Yeah.
I didn't. And that was good. And I had no voices coming in at me, and that was the right thing to do then.
Yeah.
Last year, I was in Australia, so I didn't do any, but I was busy being in Australia.
Yeah.
So this year, I made up for that and thrown myself into quite a few different things, but they're a little more purposeful than they have
Yes.
been in the past. So one of the ones I'd done, so last year I signed up to Lila Rogers' a course, which it's a new course for her. She teaches, so her platform is Make Art That Sells, and it's about illustrating books and writing for magazines, and a lot of it's actually graphic design sort of work. But a lot of traditional artists are involved in that too. And she did one to build your portfolio, and I could afford it
Yes.
because I mean that is a
Yeah.
very real thing. We have paid for some courses this year, but
Yeah.
generally speaking, we're after what we can get for free.
Yes.
um,
A lot of them do a taster and then they sell the course off the taster, which is
yeah,
a marketing technique, and that's fine. I have no problem with that at
yeah,
all. But it's like, and then sometimes I go, oh, actually, I'd really quite like to do this one. Oh, this one would be actually really good. Yeah.
yeah.
There are some that I've got like, yeah, there are some that I've kind of gone, oh, I'm really annoyed that I can't afford to do at this time that course. But yeah, sometimes they're just been ridiculous money.
Oh yeah. So I signed up to that. So it's once a month. She gives a little task, a mini task, and then a major task.
Yeah,
But they're very graphic design sort of tasks, design very specific specs. But what's cool is she includes they're a pretend job, and she includes how much you'd be paid and stuff like that, and what size it has to be, which threw me into a whole panic about getting something the right size to send in the picture and the right DPI dots per inch, that is. Um, uh, yeah, so that was a lovely little challenge, and I wanted to do that because I want to illustrate some children's books, and I thought that would give me some hints and tips about how to go about doing that, and I actually have learnt loads from that. So I actually signed up for that, and that's a paid one. It'll go until October, and I started that last year. Then around about Christmas time, this um, Icelandic woman turned up. 12 days of Christmas with Ziggurin, and she was bouncy and bright-eyed and blue eyes and blonde hair and boo. But she did 12 days, so an hour a day with the replays about studying, taking your art online, teaching your art online. And that is something I've been thinking about, whether I could actually, because I teach adults, really enjoyed that. Could I take it online and teach it? And last year I got a little bit more confidence about teaching adults because I was invited to and paid to teach a cohort
yeah,
of training adults. And I enjoyed it. They were getting a lot out of it. And I thought, I loved this. And I wasn't teaching paint this painting and how to do it. I was teaching principles like understanding your color palette and how tone works and composition and stuff like that. And I really, really enjoyed teaching it. So I thought maybe I could teach that online. So I started that course. That was like 12 days, an hour a day over Christmas and New Year, caught up with all the
yeah,
replays. And in the end, I ummed and ahed, but I would never have been able to afford her course, very expensive. But so she has a very clever thing. Once she's sold the expensive course to lots of people, then she has a cheaper version that she sells to us people that kind of would like it but can't afford it. She doesn't tell you about that until after. Um, and me and another lady that we know, actually, it's Kaz Clark, who we've interviewed. I think she was
yeah.
our first one, wasn't
Yeah.
it? We interviewed
No,
here. And
she was second because we did Judith Woolley first.
oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So we know her from Keswick, and yeah, she's fab. And she was asked us all about how to teach children's classes, and now she's gone off and doing great teaching children's classes and other classes. But
yes, it's
so I put out feelers. I realized I needed help, um, and I couldn't afford Sigrun's help. And I put out feelers, and she said, "Oh, I'd like to take my classes online." And I said, "Oh, that's great." I said, "Can we be accountability buddies?" And that has been so good. So both of us have paid for the cheap version of the course. And we're only going to have it for 3 months, and then we're going to stop paying for it. But we're learning as much as we can in that 3 months from her about how to, but that's specific. That is actually something I want to do. I'm not just doing it, go, oh, that might be fun and just do it and shelve it.
yeah.
It's actually something that we are both taking really, really seriously. But that is not all I've done. But I am going to pause and let Donna tell you why she's doing what she's doing.
Yeah, so last year I it really affected my work and I felt like I'd lost my way a bit and that I realized my word of the year for this year is clarity. And I realized looking at my work, what I really liked is the more experimental and the more free and the more, but I felt like I needed permission. I know it sounds really daft. It does sound really daft because I didn't need permission. So I went back to the beginning. I looked at Faye Bridgewater's Tiny Squares, went and bought a tiny square, I've done a whole book of tiny squares of all the shapes and patterns and things that I really like about my work. I've been reevaluating what it is about my work that excites me and gets me really interested. And I knew that I really like my dry points. So, but I wanted to make my dry points a bit freer, a bit more, and I wanted to make my whole of my work feel a bit more, yeah, more experimental and a bit more with a bit more movement and a bit more energy in it. So, because dry points and that can look a bit still just because it's just the way it is, really. So, I signed up to doing Ruth Anders landscapes. It's got a funny name, landscape something. But anyway, so I've done her course and I've also done Sam Broughton. Now, Sam Broughton is an artist who goes out and draws outside with inks and very much more what I wanted to do. So this is one of the ones I've done on the Ruth Anders course, which is the mono printing course. And I've just done another one of Ruth Anders courses, which has been excellent. But yeah, I've just really wanted to explore and I wanted to get better at doing more stuff on digital stuff. So this is another one of the things I've done with the Sam Broughton course, being very free with limited palettes and just and taking kit out, and also the things that Sam Broughton has introduced me to, which I found very useful. These are very, as Glenda said, these are courses I'm doing with a purpose, not just for fun. I have done the Louise Fletcher, and I've also found the Alice Sheridan. A couple of years ago I did an Alice
Yeah.
Sheridan week, which was really good.
Yep.
And but she hasn't repeated that since, which is kind of a bit of a shame because it was really good, and I felt like if I did it again, I'd get more out of it. But yeah, the Sam Broughton course has been. She introduced me to walking drawing, so I'm very used to going to a spot and just setting up and drawing, whereas Sam Boughton takes a tiny sketchbook and a pocket and a pencil and a couple of colours, and anything she notices on her way, she then draws and she puts that and includes that into her final paintings and her final works, some of which are plein air and some of which are done in the studio. But I have found doing those this year been really, so I've been doing that since January. I've sort of started in January. I gave myself foolishly just 2 weeks. I thought 2 weeks. And I was like, no, I'll get most of it done. No. I spent a week watching just the videos and taking notes and then putting it into place and putting it in action and then going back and yes, the Ruth Anders is a not live course. So it's all recorded. You buy the whole thing and it's recorded, and I have one of those lifetime Kajabi access things. And the same with Sam Broughton. They're both Kajabi and they're both lifetime access. They have very different ways of talking. Ruth Anders is very calm. She's one of those, hello, we're going to do this. And she explains everything in really good detail, really precise, really she explains what tool she's using, why she's using it, how it works. She shows you. It's really good. Sam Broughton is very much more energetic and passionate, and she's outside, and she obviously has a drone, and she's the drone is following her everywhere while she's drawing and painting, and it's very much more action packed. But yeah, and then I'm doing the live one is Stacey Bloomfield, who is also known as Ginger Bear, and I wanted to get more there's things I've wanted to do with, and I wanted to learn how to use Procreate. So she's doing basically a dummy's guide to Procreate,
Mm.
and I'm doing that because I want to put some digital stuff into my work. But yes, but
So that,
they're for a purpose, and they have been really interesting and really good. And I love the fact that I can keep going back to the Ruth Anders. I can go, oh yeah, hang on, how did I do this again? I did this with this because I haven't secured all the knowledge yet. But that's.
yeah.
But I've experimented with a couple of dry points and put things on and been like, oh, it's exciting.
So I've got a new iPad, and the iPad has Procreate on it.
Yeah.
So I've had to learn how to use an iPad and learn how to use Procreate. And a lady she didn't, well, So there's a lady called Bonnie Christine, and I was going to do her course last year, but I had no internet in Australia, so I couldn't do it. She does surface design, so fabric
Yes.
designs and tea towels and wallpaper and stuff like that.
Mm.
She uses Adobe Illustrator, but I don't want to commit financially to Adobe Illustrator until I'm
Yes.
sure that's what I want to do. So I thought I'd use Procreate. Well, yes, steep learning curve there, but I now have made three repeating designs,
Yes, you have. Yes.
and I've even taught one of our students to make a repeating design, although I think he knew as much as I knew. But anyway, we got there.
You
So
did.
that's another one I'm doing. I'm also doing a writing course, which is just a little short writing course. But all these things are sort of overlapping with each
Yeah.
other, and it's been a lot, but it's been good. We've also dipped our toenails into Jessica Saran.
Yes, we have this year. Yes.
Yeah,
I did the first couple of days and then I didn't do there's then she does a talk about the upcoming course that you can sign up to.
yeah,
And I kind of lost interest at that point
yeah.
and I didn't do
She's
the next
she's
task.
Yeah, she's really pushy about her courses.
Yeah.
Some people are more pushy than others because a lot of these free tasters lead to a course.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago, I did one of her art free taster. That was really good, and that's why I ended up doing my mural, which was fantastic. That was
Yeah.
really she does really encourage you to work out what you really want to do and
Yeah. She does
how to
actually.
do it. So yeah, another one I've done is Jenny Nilsson. She's an abstract artist, and I one day I will do her course because she is just such a wonderful abstract artist
Yeah.
teacher. Um, but I think that's we've done a lot, haven't we?
We
So
have it's
what
Louis,
would
yeah, Lewis Noble. He's got some stuff, but he does lots of little bits on YouTube, and you can kind of see what his. I mean, a lot of them also have membership groups. So, like, I know that Sam Belton has one, Alice Sheridan had one, Lewis Fletcher has one, Lewis Noble has one, and you get continuous support whilst you're doing. You have access to the artist direct, which is really good. And that's another way of taking that because they do courses, but they also have this ongoing membership, so you can be part of a bigger. The guy in California, I can never remember his name. He does art. Is it Art to Life? He has
oh
an on.
yes,
Yeah,
Nicholas Wilton.
that's it. Yes,
And
that
actually,
person.
Nicholas Wilton was a good one too in the early
Yeah,
days when I did his stuff. That was really helpful for lots of things. We're going to sort of take us many of these. So I'm just going to write Nicholas Wilton down before I forget.
yeah,
We're going to put it in the show notes. So if we've mentioned someone or something that you'd be interested in, or you just want to take a look at these people and keep
yeah,
an eye and follow them on Instagram or wherever,
yeah.
and for when they come up. So annually, usually
Yeah.
they'll do something for free, and it's you pick stuff up from these little free things.
You do. You learn. I mean, I was thinking how much I've learned. Louise Fletcher, the first time I did it, I was a bit like, oh, hang on, what have I got to do? And I was not sure of the pattern. But the second time I did it, the following year when I did it the second time round, I knew, and I knew how I wanted to push. There's a difference by doing some of the freebies twice. It does actually make a difference.
Yeah, I did Louise Fletcher's three times, and I
Yeah,
got to a point where I was happy with what I got out
yeah,
of it. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, the
I've
thing that I've learned from Louise Fletcher is to keep a palette book. So I keep a record of my mixing of my colors. I never used to, but actually, and I've also do it for printmaking. I've now got like a printmaking palette book. So all the printers, because printers ink's slightly different. So yes, I've started to keep a palette book of both of those just so I can kind of reference them. But yeah, there's been lots of little things that you take away and you keep forever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So hanging out with artists is good. You'll always pick something
yeah,
up. It's really good.
it is really good.
Donna, I'm going to end us there. I think we've gone over time today.
Have we?
But don't worry. Don't worry.
Oh,
It's all
okay.
good stuff. So I'm sure people will listen to the end if they want to. So next time we have a guest, so that'll be lovely. We've got Verity next
Yes, we
time.
do. We do have Verity next time. Yes.
So yes, she'll be interesting. Yeah, and that's us for today. Bye.
Oh.